The committee will come to order. This is a very big day for us. I believe it's a milestone, and every one of the panelists here played a role. And before I begin my statement, I want to thank a host of organizations who have been transportation advocacy organizations. And this is not complete, but I just feel this moment belongs to you as well as to all of us. And I'm going to name them: the National Conference of Mayors, the American Public Transportation Association, the American Council of Engineering Companies, the American Road and Transportation Builders, National Stone, Sand, and Gravel Association, the AFL-CIO, a host of environmental organizations, the American Bus Association, AASHTO, AAA, International Union of Operating Engineers, American Traffic Safety Services Association, American Society of Civil Engineers, the Associated General Contractors, the American Trucking Association, the Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations, the American Concrete Pavement Association, Associated Equipment Distributors, Portland Cement Association, National Ready Mix Concrete Association, National Auto Dealers, National Asphalt Pavement Association, Laborers International Union of North America, Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association, American Iron and Steel Institute, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, National Association of Development Organizations, National Association of Truck Stop Operators, American Highway Users Alliance, and many more. I had to do that because this day has been hard to reach, and it's because of your advocacy working with all of us that we've gotten to this point. So now I'll begin my statement, my 5-minute statement. I want to thank so much my friend and colleague, Senator Jim Inhofe, for ensuring that our differences on many other issues never got in the way of our working toward a bipartisan transportation bill. We admit that we see life differently in many areas, but where we can come together, we do. And this is one area. We believe it is absolutely necessary for our states and the United States to be strong and competitive, and we share a deep commitment to the safety of our bridges and our infrastructure. And one of the most, I think, compassionate moments I've seen on this committee is when Senator Inhofe talked about what happened when there was a piece of infrastructure that started to fall apart in Oklahoma and the consequences of that. All of the senators on this committee have been instrumental in getting this bill ready for action. And I must say, Senator Baucus and Senator Vitter, who are the chairman and ranking member of the Transportation Infrastructure Subcommittee, were extraordinarily helpful, and we had many, many meetings for more than a year now. I want to thank the committee staff who've been working so diligently on this bill. And thanking everybody doesn't mean this bill is done. But I want to make the point that it's an unusual situation where we've had to work so hard to get to this place. So I want to thank Bettina Poirier, Ruth Van Mark, David Napoliello, and James O'Keefe. These are the bipartisan staff that have, I think I've spoken to them at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night for nights on end. I want to thank the staff of all of our colleagues on both sides of the aisle for working so closely on this bill. And I want to welcome everyone to this very important moment, this critical moment in our nation's infrastructure, because the current surface transportation bill expires on September 30th. And if we don't act, this is the facts, we will see a cut of 1/3, actually 36%, and we will see a loss of 620,000 jobs between highway and transit, 500,000 of those on the highway side. So it is clear that we have to act, because if we don't step up to the plate, we will see all these hundreds of thousands of jobs lost, and we will see our infrastructure continue to crumble. This hearing is a milestone. This bill, moving ahead for progress in the 21st century, MAP 21, will maintain current funding levels, protect existing jobs, help spur economic recovery. Now, we made a lot of reforms in this bill. It's remarkable how many reforms we've made. We have taken an array of programs, we've consolidated them, we've made this bill much more streamlined than any other bill that we've seen before. But we keep funding at current levels, and that is crucial. We also have a new section called America Fast Forward. That name was after a name that a bipartisan group of leaders in Los Angeles came up with to describe one particular part of this bill, the part that funds TIFIA at $1 billion. And the mayor will speak to that. Mayor Villaraigosa will speak to that. And I thank him and his bipartisan team for that. According to the Federal Highway Administration, every federal dollar made available through TIFIA historically has mobilized up to $30 in transportation investments. And I'm pleased to say that although Chairman Mica's bill is quite different from this bill, and it totally reflects a huge cut, he does step up to the plate on TIFIA, and I'm very grateful to him for that. And I joined him in Los Angeles where he heard about TIFIA. He stepped up with us, and he has $1 billion for TIFIA, and I'm very pleased about that. Let me say again, we have many differences on this committee when it comes to the environment. That's no secret, and we're very open about it. We sometimes have a sense of humor about it, although sometimes neither side is laughing much. But on this, we really do believe this is a basic function of the national government to address our infrastructure needs, because if you can't move people and you can't move goods, you're just not going to grow. We're not going to have the jobs. We're not going to be the great power that we are, and we want to continue to be. I would say in closing that the coalition I mentioned at the beginning, I think was really represented in a magnificent way earlier in the year when we heard from Tom Donahue, President of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and Richard Trumpka, President of the AFL-CIO. They practically held hands during their testimony. They were so close together on the way we need to take immediate action to reauthorize this nation's transportation system. So I look forward to this hearing. I look forward to our markup. We're working together on a date. It'd be before we get out of town here on this summer recess. Pray God all the other things fall into place that we know we have hanging over us. But again, my deepest thanks, and I'll call on Senator Inhofe.